Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, Naaseh v'Natzliach. I want to welcome you to another session, another season of our Parashat Shavua classes here at Sharone Lankry, Baruch Hashem. I believe this is number sixth or seventh year. What is this? I believe it's our sixth cycle of doing Parashat Shavua classes. We started off at Ironside, we went to Beacon Tower, and now we've been here for some time, Baruch Hashem, that we're able to keep this going. I'd like to give an honorable mention to the pillar of this class, Judah Leib Mendel? Ben.
Tova Shendel?
Tova Shendel. I should know this by now, right? Bezrat Hashem, that this class will be to the Aslachah of the Mendel family and to Judah's parents, and brothers and sisters. Bezrat Hashem, that we'll be able to rejoice in the smachot of Judah and his family. B'mehera. Also, give a special thank you to Henshi Gordetsky, our family, the Honorable Sparty over here that's here with us all the time. Hashem varech אותך, שמח אותך, give you בריאות איתנה, שמחת חיים, אריכות ימים, and בעזרת השם יגדול מעלה בעבודת השם, and בעזרת השם also only שמחות, and we'll be able to rejoice in your family's happiness. Okay, and also to all the people that are listening online, and all the people that are usually joining us, welcome to another session of Parashat Shavua at Sharone Lankry. This week's Parashat is Parashat Lech Lecha. This is not going to be a typical class. We're going to start with the Pesukim, and then we're going to go on a far tangent on the concept that I wanted to explore today. The name of this class is called The Last Laugh. You'll get it at the end. Perek Yud Zayin. Between Pasuk Aleph and Pasuk Chavbet, it talks about something very interesting. I'll just skim through the Pesukim. ויהי אברהם בן 90 שנה ו9 שנים, וירא השם אל אברהם ואמר אני אל שדי אתהלך לפניו ויהיה תמים. Abraham is 99 years old. Hashem confronts Abraham and he tells him, he introduces himself, I am El Shaddai, walk before me and be tamim, be whole, be wholesome. Okay, we'll see what that means in a second. In other words, for perfect. I'm going to do a covenant between you and I, and this covenant is going to yield that you're going to have a lot of children. Your progeny is going to exceed. Abraham is shocked. He falls on his face. And Hashem continues to tell him, I'm making a covenant with you. And you will be a father for a multitude of nations. Your name is not going to be Avraham. Your name is going to be Avraham, the addition of the hay. We did classes about the addition of the hay and what it means. Because you're going to be the father of a multitude of nations. I'm going to, again, constantly repeating, Hashem is repeating himself, saying that he's going to make him exceedingly fruitful, make him a father of many nations. He says, and this covenant is between you, your children, and all the children's children after you, for generations until eternity. To be a God to you, and to your generations after you. He's promising him now the land of Israel, and kol eretz Canaan, all the land of Canaan, which is the land of Israel, la'achuzat olam, yours to be forever. Vayiti lahem loim, and I will be a God unto them. But this is a covenant only when you're going to keep this covenant, you and your children. This is the covenant that you're going to keep, you and your children thereafter. Himo lachem kol zachar. Abraham Avinu gets the blessing, gets the mitzvah of circumcision. I'm going to skip to Pasuk Tedvav, and it says, so we see that there's a huge set of promises that Abraham is getting right now, even before the Brit Milah. And after the Brit Milah, he says, Vayomer Elohim el Avraham, Sarai ishtecha lo tikra shema Sarai ki Sarai shema. We're going to change the wife's name from Sarai to Sarah. She also gets the hay. Uverachti ota v'gam natati mimena lecha ben. And I'm going to bless her, and I'm going to give you from her a boy. Uverachtiha, and I'll bless her. V'ayta legoyim alcha mimena yiyu. And kings upon the nations will come from her. Vayipol Avraham al panav v'yitzchak. Avraham falls on his face again and starts to do what? Laughs. Vayomer belibo haleben mea shana yivaled. Is it possible that a 100-year-old is going to have a child? Ve'im Sarah bat 90 shana teled. And a woman who's 90 years old, my wife Sarah, she can have a child. Vayomer Avraham Elohim lu Ishmael lefanecha. Maybe you should consider Ishmael. Maybe I should just live to see Ishmael go in your ways. Vayomer Elohim aval Sarah ishtecha yoled lecha ben. Kadosh Baruch Hu tells Avraham Avinu, I heard your claim about Ishmael, but Sarah, your wife, is the one who's going to give birth to your boy. V'karata et shmo Yitzchak, and you're going to name him Yitzchak. Interesting, God gave his name. V'akimoti et briti ito, and I'm going to keep my covenant that I'm making with you, with him as well. Lebrit olam, forever and ever. Lezaro acharav, and for all his children after him. Ved beriti akim et Yitzchak. This is pasuk Chaf Aleph, the last two pasukim that we're going to read. Ved beriti akim et Yitzchak. I'm going to keep my covenant with, or I'm going to establish it with Yitzchak. Asher teled lecha Sarah lamoed hazeh b'shana achet. Sarah is going to give birth to in a year from now. Vaychal daber ito v'Elohim al Avraham. And there it is. It's done. So we just had a conversation between God and Avraham, where God promised Avraham the covenant of Brit Ben Abetarim. He promised him, I'm going to make you into a multitude of nations. Av Hamon Goyim. You're going to have your seed, your zera is going to be exceedingly fruitful. Avram had a name change of Avraham, which that in itself, the addition of a hey in a person's name, is a huge blessing. Again, you're going to be fruitful. You're going to have a lot of children. And I'm going to give you opportunity to rule over nations, and kings will come from you. It's a covenant for eternity. To you, to your children, and to your children's children. He gave him all the land of Israel. He gave him the mitzvah of Brit Milah, and we know the reward of Brit Milah is something that is incredible, because we already know the zchut of a Brit Milah, and he gave it exclusively to the children that come from Zera Avraham. Continues to say, Sarai has a name upgrade, Sarah, uberachtiha, and he's going to bless her. Interesting. I just want to take us now a little bit fast forward to, actually maybe go back. To Tet Zayin Chaf Bet. It says over there, sorry, Yud Chet, Tet to Tet Zayin. Here we are. So, what was the reaction after Hashem did all these promises to him and to Sarah? Vayipol Avraham al panav, vayitzchak. He laughs. Why would his reaction to this laundry list of amazing things that are going to happen to him? Laughter. Furthermore, he says, Lu Ishmael yichyeh lefanecha. Maybe Ishmael is a better option, that I should even merit to see him go in the ways of Hashem. And then it says that Sarah yoledet ben shmo Yitzchak. Sarah is going to have a child, and his name is going to be Yitzchak. Does it have anything to do with the fact that Avraham laughed? We don't know. Let's see. If we fast forward to next week's Parashat Vayera, in Perek Tet to Tet Zayin, it says something very interesting. This is when the three angels come to visit Abraham. So the three angels approach Abraham and they say, "Ve'omri elav, ayes Sarah ishtecha? Where's Sarah, your wife?" Ve'omer hina ba'ohen, she's in the tent. Vayomer shuv ashuv elecha ka'et chaya, ve'hine ben Sarah ishtecha. He says, "I'm going to come back in a year's time, and in pregnant, and she's going to have a child." Sarah is standing behind the ohel, and she's listening in. Abraham and Sarah are old, and Sarah no longer has the way of woman, meaning she no longer has a menstrual cycle, which means that she's not able to bear children. But Yitzhak Sarah bekirba lemor, and Sarah laughed inside, meaning silently in her belly. Bekirba. He says, I don't have the ways of women. Rashi lets us know that she no longer has the way of woman, and even it says that her breast no longer can even produce milk. And my husband is an old man. Where did Sarah laugh? I just go to the last pasuk. And it's very interesting, because even though I wanted to give all these pesukim as a big intro, so we could just hear the words, there's an interesting fact over here. And the interesting fact over here is that this is the first time that laughter is mentioned in the Torah. The first time that we hear the word Yitzhak, and the whole concept of laughter is introduced in Parashat Lech Lecha and Vayera. Nowhere do we see that Adam was laughing, Noach was laughing. Nobody was ever laughing. The first time that we see laughter in the Torah is in Lech Lecha and Parashat Vayera. Now, this needs to be analyzed to be truly understood. So, let's take a little bit of a trip.
There were no Jews yet, so there were no comedians, so there was no laughter. That's what happened.
I like that too.
There's nothing to laugh about. Life is hard.
So, let's try to define, first of all, what is laughter? Okay? So, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, to show emotion with a chuckle or explosive vocal sound. Okay?
That could be crying. That doesn't have
To show emotion with a chuckle or explosive vocal sound. That is the textbook definition of laughter according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Of course, here, we're not here to learn what the dictionary says. We'd like to give the Torah view of what laughter is. Rabbi Akiva Tatz has a beautiful book called Living Inspired, and what I'm about to share with you tonight is actually an inspiration from Rabbi Akiva Tatz and his book, as well as Rabbi Masri from Bet Rambam in Houston, that last year in Adar he had a beautiful word that included this, and I'm using a combination of both plus a few other things to put this class together. The Jewish view, the Torah view of laughter. This is very interesting. I'm going to read straight from chapter 3 in Living Inspired, the chapter that deals with laughter. He says, what causes us to laugh is a sharp and improbable juxtaposition of two opposites. When a process moves in one direction and suddenly and unexpectedly changes to its opposite, laughter is generated. In fact, the more extreme the contrast, the more extreme the tension before the reversal, the more sudden the snap into reversal, the more intense the laughter. I'll explain it to you. I'll give some examples. The more something is extreme, the more two opposites occur, the extreme reversal of reality is what creates laughter. Let's go back to the parasha and see how we can define this. Sarah is an Ilonit. You know what's an Ilonit? The Gemara talks about women that are born with no womb. They're not able to bear children. Sarah was an Ilonit. We know that Sarah, and later on we'll read it in Rashi, she can't nurse. She has lost the menstruation cycle that women lose at some point of their life. Sarah was 90, 89 at that time. Abraham was 99 at that time. Tell any woman that has that as part of her reality, she will never believe you that she's going to bear a child. In Pasuk Yud Zayin, in Perek Yud Zayin, it says, Vayipol Avraham panav vayitzchak. Avraham laughs. First time that we see laughter, we see that Avraham laughs. Why did Avraham laugh? He tells us, Vayomer belibo. He said in his heart, Haleben me'ash shana yivaled. 100-year-old man can bring children. Ve'im Sarah habat tishim shana teled. Can a 90-year-old woman give birth? Avraham was thinking the same thing. This is an extreme contrast to my reality. What was his reaction? Vayitzchak. He laughed. This contrast, this extreme contrast between reality and what he was told, caused him to laugh.
No, it's like when you say when pigs fly. You know what I mean? It's like
right. It has to be an extreme.
Yeah.
Okay. Rashi says in Perek Yud Zayin, Pasuk Yud Zayin, Vayipol Avraham panav vayitzchak. When Avraham laughed, Lamadta she'Avraham emin v'sameach. Avraham was actually happy and he believed. He couldn't believe that Hashem told him that at 100 years he's going to have a child. He believed that he was genuinely happy. V'Sarah lo hemina v'liglega. Sarah didn't believe, and she made fun of it. V'zeu she'ikpid HaKadosh Baruch Hu al Sarah v'lo ikpid al Avraham. This is later on we see Parashat Ve'era that Hashem was looking at Sarah and says, no, you laughed. She tried to deny it, but he said, no, you did laugh. So we see that Avraham emin v'sameach. Sarah lo emina v'liglega. Okay. And I want to read something from Ma'am Loez. He said something over here very interesting. Says, we know, hi Yosef, welcome. So we're exploring the concept of laughter, and we're seeing that it's written for the first time in Parashat Lech Lecha with Abraham and Sarah when they're given the news that at a ripe old age of 90 and 100 they're going to have children, and their first reaction was laughter. And we said for Rabbi Akiva Tatz from Living Inspired that studied the concept of laughter and said when things are complete extreme opposites, the human condition is to laugh. And what is the complete opposite in our parasha? That a 100-year-old man, a 90-year-old woman should bear children at that age. What was their reaction when they found out? They laughed. Correct. We got more of that coming. So it says over here, Avraham was happy. And he says, look at this kind gesture that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did with me. He says, maybe on my side it's not such a big deal, but a 90-year-old woman to bear a child? What a miracle! How is it possible that we're worthy of bearing a child. He says, and why was it so unbelievable? We saw that just in previous generations, people lived to 500 and 800 and 900. They even gave birth at the age of 500 and 600, like Noah. Meaning his father lived 205 years. And in the time of Adam, Yishon, and Noach, they lived to 1,000 years. So you saw that the generation is going lower and lower. So how can it be? The people, the human being's body became weaker and weaker. That's why Abraham saw a big chidush in this. He says, he says, I didn't expect such a large reward from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to go against nature, that a person in my age can actually bear a child. That was his astonishment. Now, that was Abraham's reaction. What was Sarah's reaction? Sarah's reaction is in Perek Yudchet Pasuk Yud Aleph. It says over there, "Vatitzchak Sarah b'kirba lemor, achei beloti haytel yadna v'anu zaken." Sarah, when she got the news, her first reaction was also identical. She started to laugh. Look what Rashi says. Yud Bet. בקריבה, שרה מסתכלת במאה ואומרה, אפשר קרבים האלו טעונים ולד? She looks at her belly and she says, is it possible for this belly, for this womb, to carry a child? השדיים הללו שצמקו מושכים חלב, these shrunken breasts can give forth milk? Midrash Tanchuma says, in Bekirba and in Me'eha. So if we have to review it, let's see what is reality. Reality is that Sarah is 89.
Her insides are shriveled. Her insides are shriveled.
Yeah. Reality is she's 89, he's 99. She doesn't have the body parts. Biologically, it's not possible at this age. Certain body parts even start functioning. All of a sudden, she receives the news, you're going to have a boy. What's the reaction? Laughter. When somebody gets extreme news, extreme opposite from reality, it produces laughter. Maybe you never thought about it. You never thought why we laugh. But now that you're aware of the formula, is the more something is extreme in contrast, the funnier it is. I'll give you an example. Slipping on a banana, right? What do we see? What's reality? Walking straight. Alright? When the person slips on the banana, he's not walking straight, he's making all these funny things. It's the complete opposite. Slipping is the complete opposite of walking. What do? Laugh.
And the person hurt themselves, so it's not really that funny.
Correct. Let's think about politics. President. A president's supposed to be this distinguished gentleman, smart, governor. He's ruling over a country. He's taking care of millions of people. You hold him in such high regard. But when that person in that position acts like a fool, what do? We laugh. It's the complete opposite of what he's supposed to be. How about there's a 90-pound man? He's literally skin and bones. Goes all the way to Gold's Gym, knocks on the door, calls out the biggest guy in the room and says, step outside and I'll show you who's the man around here. Right? What? It makes no sense. The big guy steps outside, the 90-pound guy is right there challenging him, and you know what? The 90-pound weakling beats up the 400-pound muscle boy. That's not going to be funny?
It's beyond.
That's hilarious.
You know what? You also sometimes laugh at, I know sometimes gallows humor, you laugh at things that are not really appropriately funny, That's also a reaction, a visceral reaction. It's not always, it's incongruous, but it still could not be, could be, negative.
But we see that when there's something that is extreme, it produces laughter.
So when David knocked out Goliath with a
Right.
slingshot, probably everybody around
Was laughing.
probably was
Right.
look at this.
Yeah.
The giant fell down.
So we see. So now again, we're discovering the mechanics of laughter.
Yeah.
So there's another side lesson to this that is extremely interesting. The children of Abraham. The children of Abraham are Ishmael and Yitzhak. Let's zoom in on those names. In Perek Tet Zayin, Pasuk Yud Aleph, in this week's parasha, it deals with Ishmael. It says over there that Ishmael, the reason why he's called Ishmael, Vayomer la malach Hashem, this is now God told Abraham to call Yitzhak Yitzhak. Ishmael, Hagar was told by an angel to call him Ishmael. It says, Vayomer la malach Hashem, and God's angel came to Hagar, and he tells her, Hinach hara veyoledet ben, you're pregnant, and you're gonna have a boy. Vekarat shmo Ishmael, call him Ishmael. Why? Ki shama Hashem elonech. Hashem has heard your sufferings. So the reason why Ishmael is called Ishmael, because Hashem hears the suffering. The question, I think we visited this concept before in the class, but we're going to take it in a different direction. We're not going to repeat what we said in previous years. Why is his name Ishmael? Because Ishmael is in future tense, right? Meaning, if Hashem heard Hagar's prayers, it should be Shamael. Hashem heard her prayers. If Hashem is hearing her prayers right now, Shome'el. That would be a present tense. Why is his name called Ishmael in future tense? So we know that a person's name is their essence. It defines them. And the reason why his name is Ishmael is because Ishmael yigrom lishma. He's going to cause Hashem to listen. Meaning what? Ishmael is going to terrorize the world. He's terrorizing the world as we speak. That's his nature. As a matter of fact, there's the famous midrash when Hagar got thrown out of Abraham's house, and she was in the middle of the desert with Ishmael, and he was dying, and all of a sudden she was crying, and he was crying, and they were praying to Hashem for help, and he was going to die, and the angels told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, kill him, let him die. He's going to terrorize your children. He's going to terrorize the world. And then he tells them, Ba'asher Usham, but right now he's a tzaddik. Right now he's praying. Right now he's good. So I can't kill him for what's going to happen in the future. I have to keep him alive. But he says, but he's going to terrorize your children in the future. Still, he's a tzaddik now. That's one of the things that we rely on Rosh Hashanah, that Hashem looks at us, Ba'asher Usham. Doesn't matter what he did the entire year. He's doing teshuvah right now. Judge him on who he is right now. Because he did it for Ishmael, we try to activate that during Judgment Day. But we see that Ishmael is going to terrorize the world. That's his essence. And by doing that, what is he going to do? He's going to terrorize the world. Everybody's going to get scared. Everybody's going to get terrorized, and they're going to start to pray, and they're going to see the typical thing that I say all the time, that the president doesn't help, the mayor doesn't help, the senator doesn't help, their bank account doesn't help, their lawyer doesn't help, nothing that they have in their possession is going to help them, and everybody's going to go into the default setting of and everybody's going to pray to God, he's going to pray to God, and Hashem is going to hear our prayers. So what did Ishmael do? He caused Hashem to hear our prayers. Ishmael, Hashem will hear our prayers. Why? He's going to terrorize the world and bring us to a point of prayer, a point of defeat where we feel like we need to pray to Hashem because only Hashem can help us. And that's his essence. That's the essence of the Arab. That's the essence of all the Ishmaelites, that they're going to cause us to pray in the future. Abraham's second son is Yitzhak. His name is also in future tense. Yitzchak is in the future. He will laugh. Now, if we go to Perik Chaf Aleph Pasuk Vav, we also have the meaning to his name. Sarah tells us, Chaf Aleph Pasuk Vav, Vatomer Sarah, Sechok asa li Elokim.
Kol hashomea yitzchak lev.
He says, Hashem made a funny for me. He made me laugh. Kol hashomea yitzchak li. Anybody who hears that I had a child in the 90s is going to laugh at me. Rashi says on this one, Kol hashomea yitzchak li, meaning Yismach alai, will be joy, have joy for me, will be happy for me. Midrash Haggadah brings that what happened when she gave birth. Harbe akarot nifkadu ima. A lot of the barren women also got pregnant during that time. Harbe cholim nitrapeu bo bayom. And a lot of sick people healed on that day. Harbe tefilot ne'enu ima. A lot of prayers got answered on that day. V'rav schok haya ba'olam. And there was a lot of laughter in the world. That's what happened when Yitzchak was born. I want to take the class in a different direction again.
Was it the day when she gave birth or when she conceived?
Give birth.
You said you want to know the classes. You
We know
said
he
that
was
if you
born-
want someone to
Yitzchak was
to
born in,
have babies, you name them with the convicts hay and then the name. If you want them to have children.
The hay, right,
Yeah,
that's
food
the hay.
form. Yeah.
We know that Yitzchak was born on Passover.
Pesach.
First day, second, I can't remember. Do you know?
I don't know the day, but he's
And he was born on
connected to
Pesach.
Pesach.
Yeah.
There's a Perek in Tehillim, Perek Kuf Chav Vav, 126. Perek 126 in Tehillim goes like this. Shir HaMa'alot. Beshuv Adonai et Shivat Zion hayinu kecholmin. So, the time when Hashem returns the Jews to Zion, we will be like dreamers. Az yemale schok pinu. Then our mouth will be filled with laughter. Ulshonenu rina, and our tongues with song. Az yomru bagoim. Then they're going to say in the nations, Higdil Hashem la'asot imenu. Look how Hashem did. Look at the big thing that Hashem did with this nation. Higdil Hashem la'asot imanu. And then we will say, Hashem did a great thing with us. Hayinu semechin. We were happy.
Tehillim 126.
This is 126, right? So what's interesting about this?
Yeah.
This perek talks about the future. Remember, we said Ishmael is the name of the future. Yitzchak is the name of the future. This perek of Tehillim is about the future. And it's all talking about the same thing. It says that Higdil Hashem la'asot imenu hayinu semechim. Why will the Jews laugh in the future? Why will the Jews at the end of days be happy? Yes, semechim. Why will our mouth be filled with laughter? Well, let's think about it. At the end of days, which is we're in Ikveta de Mashiach, everybody's talking World War III, all these world powers, these mega powers are going to fight, this is Gog and Magog. But let's just think about the players.
Apocalypse.
America, the apocalypse, right? America, Russia, China. Look at these
And the world's falling apart.
big countries with millions and millions of people, right? And what are they going to do, all these mega powers? They're all going to unite to fight a dot on the planet. A small little dot. Okay? How big is America? How big is Russia? How big is China? All of them, all their armies, everything that they have put together, they're all going to unite to what? To kill the Jews. It's that 90-pound guy in the middle of the street with that 400-pound muscleoid and all his friends. And you know what happens? That 90-pound skeleton of bones and skin, bones and skin, He wins the bodybuilder. He wins. And his friends. At the end of time, that's what's going to happen. That little speck on the planet, speck on the map, is going to win the world war. That should make you laugh. How is it possible? Az imales chokpinu. Why should our mouth be filled with joy? Because it's such an extreme contrast. How is it possible that a small country like Israel is going to come on top at the end of days?
It's having the 6-day war, like in the smaller microcosm.
Correct. The impossible happens. The more extreme the contrast, the funnier it is. This extreme reversal of reality is what creates laughter. Again, the mechanics of laughter is not what we think. It's not like you put on a Netflix and you watch a comedian and you laugh. And what comes out of their mouth? The more,
Provocative.
not provocative, but the more,
Expletive?
forget I said Netflix. I mean, let's just say a comedian. The more they get creative with creating all these extreme opposites, the funnier it is for us, right? This extreme reversal that a small little nation comes out on top, that's why we'll be laughing. That's why we'll be semechim. We spoke about Sarai Menu because we said Abraham and Sarah are the first ones that the Torah mentions with laughter. On Friday night we say Eshet Chayil. Eshet Chayil, the Midrash says, is about Sarai Menu. And it's actually hidden within the song. A few lines are very cryptic about Eshet Chayil. One of the famous ones that are here Oz v'hadar levusha v'tishak leyom acharon. She's going to have the last laugh. Everything that's happening over here with Sarai Menu, with her son and Yitzhak in the future, v'imales chokpinu, here cryptically hidden into Eshet Chayil is the whole lesson capsulized. V'tishak leyom acharon. What's the final day? The final day. It's even in Yitzhak's name. Yitzhak's name, you could take the word Yitzhak and get two words out of it. Ketz Chai. Ketz is the end. Chai, begin to live. And that's the beginning of the next world, Olam Haba. Yitzhak is connected to it. On the final days, we're going to have a mouth filled with laughter, filled with joy. Because there's no way that this small little nation that is hated, that is persecuted, that is, picked on, bullied, will have the final laugh. And he who laughs last, laughs best. We know that there's halakha that shelo yimale adam piv. I'm sorry, shelo yimale melo piv b'schok. We know that one of the things is that you can't fully laugh right now. You can't fully have a
release.
Have a release of laughter that is like a full-blown 100% release. Why? Because we're missing something. What are we missing? We're missing Bet HaMikdash. As long as we live in a reality where we're missing Bet HaMikdash, we can't have a maleh schok, a filled mouth of laughter. You should always feel that we're lacking something, which is what? Bet HaMikdash.
They asked this guy, how can you laugh at Big Tzaddik?
Say it again?
How can you laugh so much?
Correct.
He says, I'm living now in Olam Haba.
Chazak.
He's in the higher level.
Chazak. As a matter of fact, the month that is connected to laughter is what? Adar.
Yeah.
And some people have a custom to have in their house an amma by amma, where the house is unfinished, right? Zecher leChurban. And the month of Adar, the people take a picture and they put it on top of that and it says Mishanichnas Adar v'Rabbi B'Simcha. Why? Because it's Me'en Olam Haba, the month of Adar. It's the holiday that continues past Mashiach. So when we get to the part that we'll have the final laugh, but not the type of laugh where we're taunting our enemies. You know, we won the war. We're the winners. You're the losers. No, not that type of laughter. Not like exactly. We're not boasting. We're rather just semechim. You see that the end result is what? Avayinu az. I'll read it again. We're just happy that we finally got to the reality of what? The reality of no yetzerara. You know, the evil inclination is shechted. The ol malchuyot, you know, this whole like yoke of the governments and the other nations is lifted off upon us, and we live in a life as a true Jew, living the Torah, you know, in peace, in harmony. Ainu semechim. We get to that ultimate state of being happy. We don't care about what happened during the war. That's not what we're concerned with. We're semechim that we finally get to live the life as a happy Jew. This class was called The Last Laugh. Now at the end we understand, because it's very interesting that the first time that the Torah mentions laughter is with Abraham and Sarah. And the laughter didn't come because there was a stand-up comedian over there making them laugh. The thing that made them laugh is the complete extreme opposite of reality. And every time we experience something that is a complete opposite of reality, the correct reaction is supposed to be laughter. And because at the end of days, it's going to be such an extreme contrast that the small nation of Israel is going to be the nation of all nations, and everybody recognizes Am Yisrael for the nation that they are. And it says, that we're going to be happy that we finally get to do Avodat Hashem with no disturbances, in peace. Amen. Hashem varech atkhem, samach atkhem, and Avodat Hashem that we merit for to have laughter in our life, to have schok in our life, and to be able to get to the point of living in a world with Mashiach, with third Beit HaMikdash, and Avodat Hashem, without the disturbances of the nations of the world or the Yetzirah. And the Be'ezat Hashem, we be matzlichim to give more classes over here and to talk about different concepts that broaden our horizon of how we understand Hashem and Hashem's world.
I was thinking like it was just last year.